You may have heard about the Great Mud Flood of the 1800s, the disaster that wiped out our civilization and forced a massive reset. Well, I'm an historian, and this is how we can prove that it actually happened. Ever since 1665, the Philosophical Transactions of the Royal Society has been publishing regularly. It's the oldest scientific journal in continuous publication. If a global catastrophe buried the world in mud, we should find the evidence right here. This journal recorded everything. The Great Fire of London, the 1755 Lisbon earthquake, the 1815 eruption of Mount Tambora that led to the year without a summer. If a worldwide mud disaster had happened, the scientists would have written about it, or at least they would have skipped that edition of the journal. So all we need to do is check the archive. When the mud flood happened, you'd think there'd be a gap in the publication. Or even better, there's probably articles discussing cities drowning in the mud. But then, there's not actually a gap. There's not actually a break in the timeline of the publishing of this journal. There's no record of the mud disaster. You can search it yourself. It's a publicly accessible philosophical journal. So what does that mean? Was there no mud flood? Or did a secret cabal have the time to falsify hundreds of years of scientific publications while also rebuilding a buried civilization? And if the world was covered in mud, why weren't the older copies of this journal destroyed or the non-altered ones buried under the mud? Let me know what you think over in the comments.